Geeky Alien. I changed my name because I thought, too many other people had the same name as me, so I thought I'd make it more unique, and now I'm the only person with this name. Today, as you saw in the title, I'm going to be doing this is a re-upload of the Twilight Zone 2019 Episode 1 explanation. I actually got this requested from somebody, and tomorrow I will be doing an upload for Episode 3 explanation, so I'll be able to tell you what's up with that episode. So today, I suggest that you go watch this episode 1, if you haven't already seen it, because there's going to be a lot of spoilers. I'm going to be going over the plot of it. So yeah, make sure you click off this video if you are looking forward to it and you want to see it but you haven't seen it yet. Okay, for those that do want to hear the explanation, I'm going to go ahead and get that started right now. So, in this episode, we got a struggling comedian named Samir. Now, I'm going to say this isn't my favorite episode ever because it was pretty darn predictable, but, it still had a nice moral to the story. Anyway, so there's a struggling comedian named Samir, and what he does is he goes into the bar one day because he's at some club. He goes to the bar after his skit. Nobody's laughing, right? When he's doing a skit, his material is too poetic, or not poetic, has too much to do with politics, opinions and stuff. And a man named J.C. Wheeler is sitting at the bar that he's at, and apparently J.C. Wheeler is like a really big comedian in this world of the Twilight Zone. The actor who plays him is a really big comedian as well. However, this is a different kind of universe kind of thing. So J.C. Wheeler is sitting next to him, and of course Samir recognizes him, and he's like, "Hey, I love you. Do you have any tips? What can I do to improve?" And J.C. Wheeler tells him, he says, "You got to stop making it everything so about different things. The main thing is he tells him that you have to make it about yourself. If you want people to laugh, if you want people to understand you, if you want people to be entertained by you, you have to make it about yourself. So make it personal." But the main important thing that he says about this is that you have to be willing to give things up that you'll never have again. Once you talk about them, they'll be lost forever. And of course, Samir's just like, "Oh yeah, I'll make a joke about something and it won't be personal anymore. Everybody will know about it." Well, he obviously doesn't think about it in the Twilight Zone fashion, because what happens is he goes back out on stage and he's talking to the audience, giving a skit. Nobody's laughing. It's cringeworthy. It's just like, "Oh my gosh, stop trying to be funny because you're not funny." And what he does is he thinks about the advice that J.C. Wheeler gave him, and he's like, "You know what? Maybe I should try that." And what he does is he talks about his dog. He makes jokes about his dog, and that makes everybody laugh. Everybody's laughing. It's hilarious, and he's like, "Oh, okay, this could work." But the catch is, once he goes home and he asks his girlfriend about his dog, and she has no idea what he's talking about, and he's like, "Okay, yeah, this is a very funny joke. She's just messing with me." Well, the next day, he's with his girlfriend's nephew. I think it's the next day. I know it's in the evening, but it's either the next day or the same night later. They're putting up my dog's missing pictures for the dog. And his girlfriend's nephew is like, "When did you ever have a dog? This doesn't make any sense." And Samir, he's like, "Oh, he's in on the joke as well." Sorry about sometimes I do my weird, I don't really stutter, I just don't know what to say sometimes. Like, I don't talk out loud very well, so I'm sorry about that. Anyway, so he's thinking, okay, well, these two are playing a joke on me. They're acting like they don't know where the dog is or that there is a dog. And that's kind of the theme throughout the whole thing. Like, everything he jokes about disappears. And the main problem that he runs into is, this is a very Twilight Zone type thing. My eye keeps switching. This is a very Twilight Zone type thing to happen, is he starts using the power that he has for evil. He starts thinking about everybody that's ever wronged him or that he doesn't like, or, that he just doesn't approve of. And he starts making jokes about them personally in his skit, or in his comedy routine. And every time he mentions that person or that object or that thing, it disappears from existence. It's like it never existed. Nobody knows what he's talking about. But all this time, it's making people laugh. And he realizes that when J.C. Wheeler said that you'll be getting rid of things that you know about or care about for forever, he literally meant that. It wasn't just like oh, it won't be personal anymore. Many people will know about it. It's gone. It doesn't exist anymore. So what ends up happening in the end is he's thinking about calling out his girlfriend, or it's his ex-girlfriend. It gets kind of complicated because he gets rid of a therapist that his girlfriend was seeing to help make their relationship kind of better, he gets rid of that person. So in other words, their relationship never got better, and that makes his girlfriend leave him. I think my glasses are crooked, but whatever. So yeah, his girlfriend and him are really struggling. They end up breaking up, and in his last and final skit, he's up there on the stage talking, making people laugh, doing his thing, and he got in an argument with his ex-girlfriend, and he's thinking about her. And what you think, obviously, the show's trying to make you think that he's gonna say her name and she's gonna disappear forever. But what he does instead is he gets rid of himself, which, I mean, it was kind of a predictable thing, but I still liked it just because it showed that he was still human and that he still had an emotion and that he still cared for her, which might seem a little lovey-dovey for some people, but I thought it was, like, okay, that makes sense. He obviously still loved her. I can respect that. So yeah, that's basically what happens in this episode, and it ends with another comedian girl that's being successful, talking to J.C. Wheeler, recognizing him, and of course, you're going to, or it implies that the same thing's going to happen to her. And then at the very, very end, it zooms onto his picture, kind of like The Shining, if you've ever seen The Shining. It zooms onto a picture on the back with a bunch of people from, back in the 1920s, back in, over dozens and dozens of years. It has pictures of people that supposedly have been comedians, and in the back there's Samir, which is the I wouldn't say twist ending, but it's a surprise ending. Samir has become part of the Twilight Zone, basically. So that was cool. I mean, I kind of feel like they copied The Shining, but it was nice to see. So the explanation of this is Twilight Zone's goal is to make some of the things we fear or some of the things that we experience in everyday life a literal thing. That's what the Twilight Zone tries to do. It tries to either personify what we're afraid of or what we do, or it tries to give it a more menacing characteristics. So for example, the theme for this episode was that it was more of a question, really, like, how much are you willing to give to get what you want? How much are you willing to give away, to get rid of, just so you can be successful? So that's the main theme of it. That's kind of an explanation of it. J.C. Wheeler, we don't really know who his character was. Was he part of the Twilight Zone, or was he just a man that was trying to help people out? No, I don't really think so, because he seemed to know what was going on. But yeah, so J.C. Wheeler, kind of the bad guy in this one. He's not really a bad guy. He's just telling people what he knows, and people do what they want with that information. So yeah, that's my explanation / just go over of the very first Twilight Zone episode. If you liked it, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe. There will be a lot more content, not just about Twilight Zone, but about a bunch of different things. Anything geeky. That's why it used to be called Geeky Universe, but it's Geeky Alien now. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any tips or want me to do anything specific in the geek world, please just leave it in the comments, and I will look it up. So yeah, thank you for watching, and everybody have a great day.